Welcome
everybody. Back, everyone.
It's those two sisters, D City Life Sisters. I am Demita Joe, and this is my co-host.
Yes, I'm a unicorn.
And we're back. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a little bit of a lot because there's so much going on. The 2023 has really been the year of exposure in my mind because every time I turn around, somebody is being exposed or whatever, or arguing or breaking up, or somebody's relationship shit is being put on Front Street. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's been put out, but we're also going to talk about a little bit of other topics.
For sure.
Anyway, so I don't know.
I just can't keep up. It's so many things that are happening. It's like all these small things that happen that some of them equal out to be big things. Some of them are just, they stay small. But my thinking is like, man, like it's just a lot. Sometimes I just be overwhelmed. And I got to say this because we were just talking about it sort of like, hey, Ellen. We were just talking about this sort of like backstage or whatever. And because I've been needing my pre-therapy session with my sister before sometimes we get on here. But like, there's some shows that I don't even find myself like wanting to watch because I'm just like, I need to just maintain my like sanity a little bit. Like, after you work a long day or, you got other stuff happening in life. And it's just like, I don't even be attracted to be watching certain things sometimes. It's not like one thing all the time. It's just like, sometimes I just be like not even in a rut, but like, I need something else. And I liken it to like when you're working out and, you're not really craving a burger or wine because you've worked out. Your body's craving like a banana or, you know what I'm saying? Like water or whatever, right? Like, that's how my spirit be feeling sometimes. It's just like, I just got home from work. I feel like,
I have to feel like a certain, like, I actually do mine like this. I'd be like, okay, what do I feel like watching right now? And then I'd be like, all right, I want to watch something like this. And sometimes, like, lately, reality TV hasn't come up much, but I did watch Love and Marriage Detroit a little bit. I watched the first episode of The Bachelorette because there's a Black Bachelorette this season.
Yeah, I saw the clip. I didn't see it, but I saw the clip.
I'm waiting for Ready to Love to come back tomorrow though, because I am actually excited. I was gonna say exactly excited. I'm really excited about that because that's one of my favorite reality shows. So,
Same here. I love to see Black people dating, and I love the way that they do it on that show.
I mean, I can't say I agree with everything they do on the show, but I love the concept. It just doesn't always go like it should go. So we'll see how the edits play out this season.
Yeah. Well, I like to see just like Black people who are, upwardly mobile. I don't know what that means. Like, I know what it means, and it's just like, it's 2023. Come on. Everybody's upwardly mobile. But the idea that, these people are coming together and we date and we're not just out here twerking and shooting each other. We actually date and we have interests and we have values. And so it's really fun to see. That's why I love watching Ready to Love. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, have you watched the first season yet? You need to go back and watch the very first season because the very first season is a lot more organic, and it kind of shows you how, like, the nut that we trying to get back to,
right.
Because that season was just what made everybody fall in love with the show.
Yeah.
And so now, I mean, like all things, it's evolved and everything, but I still have a love for it, even though I'm not happy with how everything turns out. But I have met some great people. Like, I got to meet Sabrina in person from the Potomac cast. She looks just like she looks on camera. She's very nice. And I also got to meet Winter. She's not on Ready to Love, but she was at the event that me and Sabrina were at. So, contrary to popular belief, which is actually a nice person from the time that I got to talk to her or whatever.
Cool.
I did, I got to talk to her a little bit, and I did ask her about dude because I was like, "What's up with dude?" But that's no, but
situation.
That's neither here nor there.
I expect her to be, a cordial person, and I'm sure she's delightful. I just didn't understand what her role was on that show, which I also, just really being honest, what in the world happened to the recap, the reunion? Like, they just totally
I
bamboozled.
felt like they said they were on a break, but did I ask her about that? I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't ask her
Well,
about.
that's okay. I mean, like, she might not even be at liberty to say in a way where we
She
could
might not be.
point
Yeah.
out on, but just the idea that they left us hanging like that, and they like this like blue ball.
I thought for sure I missed it, but
I wanted to see the reunion. I wanted to see what happened after the altercation with Joy at at the Christmas party, but whatever. It's more of a cliffhanger if they are going to come back on, and I have heard that they're going to have another season, so I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I do need to get back on my watching of this, but I do want to shout out this one person that you just put me on to.
Sorry.
Did you hear that?
I got a delay, I think. Can you hear?
It's okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Now,
so I was gonna say this one person that you put me on to named Lex. Well, she goes by like Lex Alt on TikTok, and she was talking. I'm just gonna share my screen and share so everybody can see what she looks like and how you can follow her. Because we always just support Black people, especially Black women.
And so let me just say a little bit about why I even follow her. When you watch certain stuff on YouTube and TikTok, I guess your algorithm is, pulls certain things in. But she was talking about in this video scarcity mindset and how to get over that. And that's something that's like my judge. You know what I'm saying? I am a mindset and fitness coach, and I watch all things mindset. She shouted out a few things that she gave a few examples of what you can do to, change your mindset for the positive or whatever. But she shouted out a few things that we already watched. And so I thought that was like good or whatever. But yeah, that was a good video. So if y'all are on TikTok and y'all like positive things, follow her because she has a bunch of good story times and stuff like that. So
I'm not logged in, and that's why it's not a follow if anybody cares. But
so Ellen says that she believes Ashley said on Kamisha's live that they're on a break. But like, how long is this motherfucking break? That's what I want to know.
And what is
Jerry, what's going on?
Not only how long is the break? Hey, Crown Prince. But like, why did we not get notice of it? Like, it's like I feel stood up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched the whole season. I was like enthralled. I was really into it, and then it was like a letdown because like I'm expecting this to like come to a climax, and they just
it's like we've ordered our food and our food has not come yet. Where is it?
They left me with reality TV like blue balls or something.
Somebody asked her about, I guess she's talking about Ashley. Somebody asked about her and Raina's friendship, and she said we have to wait for the show to come back. So I don't know. If y'all know when the show's coming back, let us know. And just while we're talking about it, if y'all want to know why my hair looks like this, it's because I'm locking again. Okay, this is my third set. I had my last set for 10 years. I combed it out 2 years ago, actually right before Ready to Love, or while I was watching Ready to Love DC, the first season in DC. But I'm back in the land of locks. Okay, so they are short, but listen, we're about to have some locks over here. Kamisha, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Kamisha Review. She is the queen of reality TV. As in her voice, all the things of the things. Okay, she's interviewed people from OWN, from Big Brother, and a bunch of other different shows. So if you don't know about Kamisha Reviews, what are you doing? Okay,
put your life together. I was just talking,
and that's my mentor. So
to one of my coworkers because I was talking about how the energy that is depleted during the workday, and I'd be thinking like people be saying this is a funny thing because you know how what's that saying that's like you have the same 24 hours in the day as Beyonce does, right?
I don't feel like I have Beyonce's.
I don't think I have Beyonce's time either. Let's just correct that right now because
Beyonce's 24 hours is filled with dollars. Okay,
she has people to do stuff for her, like, hey, I need this ironed. Hey, I need my makeup done while I'm, answering these emails, right? Like, I don't have that kind of reach, but I know she worked hard. But anyway, the only reason I brought that up was because I was like, you know what? I have the same amount of time in my day as Kamisha does. But Kamisha always be out here on these internet streets,
listen,
on her research, putting her content out there, and there's no excuse for me when Kamisha's out here on these streets like that. So,
Kamisha, I just saw your voice note. Okay, so I didn't ignore you. I just saw it or whatever. But let me tell you why. Because today, for me, y'all, has been extremely stressful because my child went to go get his driver's
Yes, he
license
did.
and he failed the first time yesterday. He was so upset because the lady was a bitch. Let's just be real. But then today he went back and he aced it like I knew he would. And now he signed up for this little boxing class or whatever. He's like, oh, I get to drive myself. So now it's a whole other set of stress. Like, oh God, I hope, everything. But he has to learn. So, but that's why I hadn't checked none of my messages yet. Cause I was just like, trying to get from that. But shout out to Kamisha. Like I said, if y'all not following Kamisha, she always has the breakdown on I really feel like things. All of the reality shows.
All of the things, yeah.
And she will definitely, her voicemail is probably saying something like, I went live on my birthday and I worked on my birthday. What are you doing? You need to post more. So I'll check it after I get off here. But shout out to Kamisha. Definitely follow her. Let's read some of these comments real quick. Okay. Ellen says we have to wait for the other franchises to end, I guess. I guess, but that's crazy.
Come on. Look, speaking of working hard, like Kamisha, O needs to get on their Bravo. For real. O needs to get on their Bravo life. First, and they need to be just posting several, talking about several shows at once.
But do you know what they're doing? They know Kamisha reviews because, trust me, I feel like they know Kamisha. And a lot of times they put stuff out so that Kamisha can talk about it because she talks about a lot of stuff and says a lot of things that most bloggers won't say, and she keeps it real. So that's one of the reasons why I really like Kamisha and what drew me to her in the beginning, because she's unapologetically herself, and I like that. So shout out to her again. If y'all not following her, please follow her.
Do it now.
You growing your hair back, Kamisha? So Kamisha used to have locks too, but she's been rocking the low fade. Sometimes she lets it grow out a little bit and then she puts it back down again. But she, not everybody could do that. So she been rocking that jump. But she said she don't sleep. Kamisha will go live. As soon as something happens, she'll fire up live. So I gotta take a cue from her. I just be in my head like, well, I don't really have that much to say, and I don't know. But the fact is, you just want to give your little opinion on it and get it out there and let it start working in the algorithm.
Yeah,
so I do get that. I do get that. So, but anyway, we are not here to talk about that.
But it was a good little segue. Okay, it was a good little segue into our next topic, actually, which is Meta is up working nights as well. So Kamisha and Meta are in the same company here. So Meta has launched a new app called Threads. And now here's what's funny about this. It said they officially launched on Wednesday. And I believe that this is from CNN, this came out today. So so that means that they launched. And so excuse me, because I had way too many days off last week. All of my coworkers, we're in the same boat. We're like, what day is it?
Right. Tuesday threw me off with the 4th of July. I felt like it was Friday. I felt like today was Friday. I'm like, okay, tomorrow.
We didn't know what was happening. And so that's where I am. So I don't even know what day it is. Apparently it's Thursday. Now, so that means Meta launched this app called Threads on Wednesday, yesterday, and it offers like a space similar to Twitter. Now, here's what's funny. When you first put me onto this, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me look into it. But what I realized is that I've seen this image on Instagram like several times in the past couple of days, to the point where I thought it was just like a new background or something. And now I'm realizing like, oh, this is like their answer to Twitter or whatever. I know, look, I'm mixed feelings about this, because while I do love all the apps and all the new platforms, and I think it's cool and stuff, I do have two things to say about new apps, right? Number one,
home safely, guys.
Is he back? Yay, a new driver. Number one thing that I have to say is like, I want to be a little bit more leery about how I'm spending my time on my phone overall, because I've literally noticed over the past couple of days, even if not the past couple of months, how addicted to my phone I am. It's really quite strange. Like, Like if I don't have
Right.
my phone with me, it's become now a reflex. And I've seen all of these stories over the past year about these kids who are harming their teachers and stuff when they get their phones taken away from them. And I think something's happening to us collectively as a society where we're connected to our phones like via our intellect. Like I don't know what that means. It's nothing I can do to stop it, but for me personally, I'm like, okay, I'm noticing it. So there's that, but then there's the other thing about like Meta is weird to me because they just stopped paying some of their creators. They stopped paying creators for content a little while back, and it's like, what are you really doing? Like, no, it was Myron
So,
Golden. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
okay. No, I was just gonna piggyback on what you said. Like I saw people posting about it yesterday, and I was just like, "What is that?" I saw the logo and like all the words in the thread or whatever, and then
Mm-hmm.
people had like, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I figured out it was an app, and so I was like, "All right, well, let me get on there too or whatever." It's integrated with Meta, obviously. It'll import
Yeah,
your Instagram stuff if you wanted to. But I'm all about a new platform.
yeah.
But let me just shout out D Miss O. Hey, D Miss O. Y'all follow her. She's also a content creator as well. So shout out to D Miss O. All right. Sorry, sis.
No, that's cool. I just feel like this. Like, listen, all that said, I'm still going to participate. Okay. It's just that I'm really looking at things with a side eye, even though I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I was thinking about, I don't like the way that they're doing this with the non-payment of their creators. And I was going to say that Myron Golden, I was watching a Myron Golden video a couple days ago, and he was like, if you're involved in something and you're getting something out of it and you don't know like not like what the value is, but nobody's charging you, then you are the product.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Laughing. I'm sure I messed up what he said, like
no,
word
but
for
yeah,
word.
because that means that people are gonna watch you use it, and then they'll join on the strength of you, but you're not getting paid for it.
Right. So like this is what Meta is doing. They're charging their advertisers for access to us users.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, I get it. It's a business, and I'm not gonna, quit Facebook and Instagram or whatever. But I'm just looking at things like fan base as alternatives, because it's like, if we're out here creating content and we're drawing people into the platform, and every platform wants their users to stay in their platform, right? That's obvious. If you're in YouTube, but YouTube pays their creators. But if you're in YouTube, they want
Yeah,
you
but they also taking 40% now. They're taking more
yeah.
than
Well, I don't know. I think that's more than what Meta's doing right now. Meta is being really stingy with the coin. I just feel like that's really absurd, especially for people who have been creating content and now they're taking a pay cut because the rules have changed. It's really interesting. But
I mean, but that just opens up a lane for the content, the platforms that do pay, because like you mentioned, fan base. So fan base actually does pay, and the thing that they do is you do love, and love is 1 cent. Now those 1 cents, will add up, and I feel like that's more than like if somebody sends somebody a cash app on you. I mean, like a super chat on YouTube.
Yeah.
Google is getting 40% of that, you know what I'm saying, which is almost, you might as well just say half, you know what I'm saying. And so that's crazy. So if you think about the fact that maybe you got 100 subscribers and everybody gives you a penny, at least you made $1 that nobody's taking nothing from or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does seem small, but when you think about the fact that it is created by a Black entrepreneur, I feel like that gives it a little bit more leverage. But I mean, it's so many platforms out here. That's just going to make people like gravitate to other ones, because like Jerry said, like it's evolution. Like it's adapting to having the world in the palm of your hand. Like we remember when we were little, we had to wait for our friends to be at home for us to call and talk to them. We couldn't show them our clothes, our new gadgets or nothing. Like I'm kind of, I'm not jealous because we get to do it now, but like, man, if I had the stuff that they have access to now, like I would have got all A's and B's in school. I would have already started like 3 businesses, you know what I'm saying? So, but the other thing is that with the good, it comes the bad, right? Other people that you don't want to have access to you have access to you, and people do crazy things sometimes or whatever. So, I mean, it's just the I guess he's like he says the evolution and the way that things are going. But I just advise everybody to capitalize on it. And you mentioned that when you mentioned that people that Facebook is take or Meta is not paying their creators or whatever, and how they want you to stay on that one platform like as long as you can. I just have a little tip for content creators that share their work on other platforms, because a lot of people will post a TikTok and then you'll see them post that TikTok on Instagram or on YouTube with the TikTok logo. And the way to get around that is edit your video, or once you edit your video, or edit your video in InShot. It's an app called InShot where you can just make your video and then you can use that same video to post on other platforms, because they don't like you to have uploaded a video with another platform's name on it. Sometimes it doesn't get as monetized or whatever. But anyway, that's just a little tip that I learned about.
That's nice. I like that. I use CapCut.
I use CapCut too.
But I've never tried InShot.
So InShot, I got that from David Shanes when he talked about that when we did the podcast course or whatever.
Yeah.
But CapCut, I haven't gone through the learning curve, so I only know how to use it a very little bit. I only used it for the Black Girl Follow Train on TikTok, and I figured out how to get on that boat. Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta play around with that a little bit more. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's cool. So listen, all that said, I'm getting ready to be on Threads, y'all. And the funny thing is, like, I'm talking a lot of shit. And I get right in line to get my free hot dog, okay? And so I'll be right on Threads, and I'm gonna have all of this shit in the background of my post, and I'm gonna be happy as shit.
Oh my God.
Anyway, listen, it's not like it used to be, but it's good enough, okay? And then with that said, I'll say this is not really good enough, but we are getting major heat waves. Listen, I'm no like carbon expert or sort of like global warming expert, but it's definitely hotter every year than it used to be. In fact, this year, I just saw this in the news yesterday on the 5th, where I guess July 4th was the hottest day on record, like throughout recorded history. Like the 4th of July, which was a couple days ago, was like the hottest it's ever been. And so they reported that out of New York. But also I've seen things recently with Texas, like at the end of June, there was like 13 people who died in Texas based off of like the heat index. And it got me to thinking about, like, you know, the idiots who think that global warming isn't real. Like, this is the proof if you haven't had any before. But also the idea that, like, we need to really be monitoring our, you know, our activities outside. Like now's the time. Like, look, before it might have been okay, like it's just hot out here, da da da. But now people out here dying. I feel like we need to really think about, like, I'm about to age myself, but there's a movie we watched a long time ago called Total Recall, where they couldn't go outside, and like,
I mean, that started with COVID. I feel like, because that was the whole can't go outside. And then you remember, I mean, that haze that's been coming from Canada.
Yes.
It's like,
what is it called? It's the air quality.
Yeah. Go back up, because I like that picture.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Right here. This is a child runs through a fountain in Vilnius, Lithuania to cool off on June 21st.
I thought that was somewhere we could go. Okay.
Amid a heat wave. It's in Lithuania. So, no. But that does look like a bomb shower. But, like, it had me looking up just different things that can protect us from, experiencing a heat wave. Obviously, stay inside, stay hydrated, and those things like that. But I think more so than not, we really need to pay attention these days, because I feel like a couple of people who had died. I know there was this one man who was in Texas. He was delivering mail. And you're thinking, like, I mean, I don't know this man, but I'm thinking that he probably would have done that if he would have known, you know what I'm saying, that it was that dangerous. But you push yourself, you work hard, you're like, oh, it's hot, but I'll get through today just like I've gotten through every other day. Well, this is not every other day. We're now coming into a period of time where we're experiencing things that have not been experienced before, i.e. the hottest day ever recorded. So it's like, okay, now we really have to be concerned about whether you can, like, go outside and actually get baked outside. It's like, this shit is real now. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer like, oh yeah, that happened. It's happening. So I think we need to really take these seriously. And even the air quality stuff, like, honestly, I'm just going to be honest and transparent. I haven't really been taking those things as seriously as I should. It's like the first couple of days we had an air quality issue. Like I wore a mask. It was like back in June. And I wore a mask, but then I was like, I can't breathe in this mask. So I took the mask off like an idiot. It's like, why would you think they would tell you to wear a mask, right? But I just couldn't breathe in the mask. So I just instinctively took it off. But I'm like, I got to find a better way because obviously these alerts are coming out for a reason.
Right. And so like my thing is, I feel like the only things that we can do, because we can't control the air or anything like that, but like more specifically to the situation about the mailman, I've seen videos where people leave out snacks and drinks for their mail people or whatever. And if you are a person who has a kind heart like that, I feel like that should be something that we do in the summer months, because a lot of them can't get off their route to get nothing to eat. They can't get off their route to get nothing to drink or whatever. So those little things help or whatever. And a lot of times people don't know that they're in heat exhaustion when they're in heat exhaustion. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's something that I feel like we would have to come together as a whole community to help or to make it better for everybody else. But everybody's not going to do it. But if you are that kind of person, put some water out for your mailman, your people that deliver your packages or whatever. At the very least, water. You know what I mean? Anyway,
yeah, and I think you're right. That's a really good observation, really, to make, because it's like you see people outside, they might not recognize that they're experiencing some symptoms of like heat exhaustion. And I think there's an opportunity, especially like, you see homeless people, you see even people just working outside. It's like, take the extra time to really just check on people. And that's something that maybe if that would have happened to that mailman, he would have been like, oh man, I was dizzy and I didn't realize it. Like, thank you for letting me inside or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm
and
not
the homeless people, right? I think about them in the cold, but I don't think about them in the heat. I really think about them in the cold, but yeah.
And you wouldn't really have to, but now is a different time. I think the things that we've gotten through pre this moment, like now, okay, everybody, now that's over. Now let's pay attention, because it's like, 111 degrees. Ugh. And I know that's not unheard of to people who live in like Arizona or sometimes in Las Vegas or Texas or Mexico, but like it's really bad. So I just want to, if nobody's told you, this is a different day. Okay. And like,
and we don't know what's really coming, because we done been through a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? Hello? So at this point, I'm like, we're liable to see anything, but,
and I just put this up here because it's like, these are things that I was not paying attention to when I took my mask off, when they're saying it's bad air quality, whether I was having headaches, irritated eyes, sinuses. I didn't have that. I mean, fatigue, I don't know. Chest pains, I was not having. Difficulty breathing, yeah, sure. Irritated throat, increased coughing. Yeah, I think I experienced that while on those days when I was outside. But
I mean, because you could see it. You could see the hate.
Yeah, I could see it. But sometimes I be thinking, in the back of my tinfoil hat, y'all, sometimes I be thinking, like, where did this actually come from? Like, I've not been to Canada in at least 20 years. I went to Canada once on a band trip. And so I've not been there, so I don't really know, right? I'm not trying to spread any misinformation, but it's just like, where is this coming from and why is it happening now? And I don't live in Canada, but I wonder if they're experiencing this, or is it just blowing south? Because that's a little odd to me too, So anyway,
who even knows? You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Miss O. I saw that you shared me out. Thank you. Kamisha, you'll be all right. We know you working. You know what I'm saying? Her phone probably be jumping. Anyway.
Yes. Okay, now speaking of hot bodies,
oh
God, my segues into stuff these days. I wanted to talk about the Essence Festival, namely some of the things that have been catching a lot of attention, like Janelle Monáe pulling her areola out. Now, what's funny to me about this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this up. Like, who cares?
She covered the areola though.
She has a song where she says, "Get off my areola," and that's why I was like, "Oh, I get it now."
I don't know if that's gonna fly on YouTube, but we shall see.
I'm that up because okay, let me move off of that then. But hey,
I will say she is nice. She is a set of nice ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she does. She has a whole like album out about pleasure or something like that. And she's catching a lot of heat. Put up coming in from the last topic. She's catching a lot of heat. Actually, a lot of people were catching some heat after the Essence Fest, and they had a pretty good lineup. Lauryn Hill performed, Jill Scott performed, Megan Thee Stallion, who I thought she was injured, but I guess she's healed now, which is good. There's a lot of people who performed on the Essence Fest, but what was funny to me, what was the most, I won't say entertaining, but there was all this backlash off of India Arie in her comments. Now, she wasn't saying anything wrong either, but
what did she say?
If you don't know, India Arie is like a soul artist. From the first time I think I came across her music was like maybe 1998.
Brown skin.
Now listen, that was 2000. Okay.
Okay. What was her first song?
I think she was a I'm not my hair, or I'm not the actual girl from your video.
Yeah.
I'm not the actual girl from your video. And she might have come out before that. She might have come out in like 97 or something like that. Anyway, my point is, she is a staple in the game. She has paid her dues. She's always about women's empowerment, about being yourself, about self-love. And she's taking some heat because she posted after okay, so Megan Thee Stallion, I'm gonna try to play this, but I don't want the I don't need the sound to play. Anyway, I'm gonna say this and then I'll put it up. Megan Thee Stallion performed with, oh man, I can't even remember the other person, but they basically had all of these people on stage twerking.
I saw
like all young women twerking. Now, is that my favorite form of programming? No. Okay. It doesn't matter to me that much, but I understood what India Arie was saying. So she put up like a tweet basically saying like, this is what we're doing now, right? Like almost like she was disappointed. She expects more. I feel like India Arie has earned her stripes in the way she can make a comment like that, and nobody should come for her. I feel like the people who are commenting now don't really understand who they're talking to, because you can't really talk to India Arie about supporting women because that's what her whole career is built on. Plus, she pointed out that like she's done Essence Fest several times. I don't think she was trying to take away from anybody. I think she was just saying she expects more. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't care about people twerking and stuff, but things are getting a little out of hand. We're gonna get into a little bit of that a little later, but things are getting a little out of hand. I even noticed it a few times, but like on the BET Awards and stuff, it's like very few people are relying on their talent anymore. It's all about like shaking their butt, and that's cute or whatever, I guess, but it's like, is that what you're going to be remembered for? You know what I'm saying? Like, or are you actually talented? And then we can remember your lyrics or your performance and not just your twerking. It's like at the end of the day, a lot of people could twerk, but it's not really memorable. It didn't really add anything to the culture, or the music, or the society. Now, if you're the world's most amazing twerker, great, bring it. Let's see, right? Great, but like everybody can't be like that's their thing. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to like sing or rap or do something else as a performer that makes me be like, oh wow, you're really talented.
So I get what you're saying, but like, okay, it's like kind of like the radio. Like the music that they play is supposedly things that people request, right? Everybody was like okay to see it. They were videoing it. But it's like, I guess that also dates us as well, because we're over, a certain age, and it's like, okay, is this really how I want to be remembered? But that is not their thinking. And so it's like, okay, but then when you think about all the shit that happened in the Supreme Court and all of that with Roe versus Wade and affirmative action and stuff like that, it's like, is this what we really need to be doing? But then it's like, I guess I'm not the audience. The people who liked it might have liked it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what to think about that. The thing that stood out about that Essence Fest, though, to me was Jill Scott's national anthem performance, though. But it's like now you got twerking on the same show that she was singing a different version of the national anthem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so
I don't know. I don't
know either. And I hate to like even bring attention to something that's, sort of like negative or whatever, but it's like I think we can
only fans based. Ellie
Yeah.
got a point. Like we are removed from this generation. Like the things that even the music that they listen to is so different than what moved us back in the day. Like I kill for a 90s 2000 R&B.
Oh my gosh! You know
playlist,
what I was looking up yesterday? Old SWV songs live, like 1992. I'm so
like
into
that's but that's
1993.
their whole thing is different now. Like these are the people that are gonna assume run the world. So it's like, yeah,
I know, and they ain't gonna have no skills except twerking. I'm sorry, that wasn't right. But I will say this: it's like even Megan Thee Stallion.
It is a talent, you know what I'm saying? I can't do it. God didn't bless me with that talent. You know,
Listen,
I got a butt but no shaking.
And speaking of which, Megan Thee Stallion is a supreme excellent twerker, but she also got some skills on that microphone, okay? And she be writing her own rhymes.
She's educated.
Undeniable. Yes, she is educated, but she's undeniably good. I remember when all the flack came about the song WAP. And I was like, oh, this is really intense. But like the only thing that I could really experience was Megan's flow on that joint. Like she sounded like some old, it reminded me of when I first started listening to West Coast rap. And I was like, oh, there's something bomb about this. But like she just man, the flow on WAP was like, I couldn't deny her talent. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I could. Yeah, it was like raunchy. It was out there, but it was like, wow, this is her, you know, the way she went in and out of the flow and the emphasis that she put on certain lyrics. So look, and Megan is talented when it comes to pop in it too. Excuse me, production. She's talented when it comes to that. So so I applaud her efforts, but I just feel like other people, we can all learn some talents. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I just gotta play devil's advocate for this because from our standpoint, right, that is a point. But then at the same time, right, be in the moment of this, right? Okay, they're at Essence Fest. Somebody goes up there, or somebody, and I don't know how it happens. Somebody announces they're about to have a twerking session or a twerking contest, or somebody goes up there and starts twerking, and other people that feel like they can twerk go up there. Those people probably all have other talents. You know what I'm saying? They're not a monolith. They probably are, a variety of different people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
yeah, okay, but let me just push back on that for a second. The only problem with that is like, how would we know? Right? Like,
Faith, if we talk about something right now and we're talking solely about reality TV, nobody knows what else we know. You know what I'm saying? So like I would say
you're right.
Yes, and maybe it was inappropriate because of, the fact that we don't even know who was up there because all we saw was butts. We can't even
all we saw was butts. You know
what I'm saying? But it is an element of entertainment to some people, and just because we don't like it doesn't mean that bitches ain't making money off of it every day. You know what I'm saying?
That was a quotable quote. Officer, all we saw was butts.
Ellie said,
they were shaking.
I listen to older music. I can't even stomach this music right now. Yeah. I don't even know 99% of these artists. I will say, when I was watching the BET Awards, I really was in my old lady bag because I was like, who the fuck is that? Who is this? I had to ask my son, hey, who is this? He keeps me hip. He lets me know who's who or whatever. And, I feel like our mothers and stuff probably did when we were coming up or whatever. Sure. But I will say that we weren't, we actually, I don't know. I don't
want to say that either, but I'm going to say it. Even though I shouldn't say
it. I can't twerk either.
We heard some of the same stuff that I'm now saying when I grew up, like, oh, these people aren't as talented, and I will give it to them because ain't nobody doing what Tina Turner was doing back then, okay?
No.
Tina Turner was turning it out, and I was just looking at some stuff from her.
And so was Anita Baker, so was the lady, Sade.
Oh yeah, I appreciate her now. I did not always appreciate Sade. I used to be blown when Sade came on.
Yeah, you know what? Our music was bomb too, especially listen to it now. How people were actually singing and they were, doing videos. Like you couldn't stop me from trying to see the video for the song that was about to come up. Now it really don't matter if I see the video or not. It's like a video's a video. Everybody making videos, but back in the day, we used to be like, I can't wait to see a video to this song. I can't.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, times change or whatever, but I will just say, while we don't approve of the twerking on national TV, I mean, they probably do have other things that they're doing.
They have other
Twerking
talents, I'm
seems to
sure.
be fun, but I can't do it, so I can't relate. But I can't really say that I'm gonna, not watch somebody because or not support somebody because they're twerking.
Of
But
course
I will
not.
say that it could have been, yeah, I don't know. I guess because it all boils down to like, I feel like what your thought is about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I've been places where people start twerking and I just be like, hey, get it, and then I go on to do whatever I'm doing. I wasn't twerking, but hey, shout out to you. You know what I mean?
Now,
I
what
don't
do
know.
you
I don't know.
listen? I understand what you're saying. We're not disagreeing on this. I definitely agree with what you're saying, but I definitely want to talk about if that's all you're putting out there and nobody knows you for the writer that you are or the the innovator that you are, then there's a problem with that. And that maybe it's time to lean in towards what your major talent is. If you twerk on Tuesdays, then that's awesome. But maybe not lead with that, because I think people are, it's not even about what people think, it's about like what are we adding to, you know what I'm saying, to humanity. And now I also,
No, I hear what you're saying, but the fact that people make money off of it, it's a
yeah,
moot point to even say that what else are you bringing? Like they feel like it's a thing because they are getting paid for it. Like one of our next topics is going to be about somebody who's
I
made
was getting
money
ready to say
off
when
of
twerking
just
goes wrong.
showing her twerking skills and everything that the bottom half of her can do. You know what I mean? And she's been saying that she's doing it for money. So I really don't. I got to go back and think of my thoughts on that. I don't know.
Now, let's talk about this, because here's what happens when twerking goes wrong, people.
Oh, read Mocha's comment real quick.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
All these singers, IG models look the same to me. They all have the same makeup style. I can't tell them apart. Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Everybody
Facts.
look the same. Everybody got the same body or whatever.
And the same face. It just, I mean, and obviously, like, I don't care what people do to themselves if it makes them happy, but it is not original. And so this is actually from, shout out to Unwild with Tasha K.
Oh
Her
Lord.
and Sukihana, her and Sukihana over the past, I guess, week or so have gone back and forth. They've gotten into it. Tasha K is just releasing these receipts about how Sukihana was twerking on a dog. She also released one about how she was twerking on some kid. I don't want to show that one because it's like child pornography.
Yeah, we don't need to see that.
But I did go look at it because I was like, no. It's so funny how when somebody says something,
I just have to add too, like the business of ass shaking has made money over years. It just
which
used to
is
be
wild.
done in secret. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like men go to the strip club to see it. It's just that now we have so much access to stuff that people can now do certain things out in front. And I'm not saying that it's right, but like, I mean, I don't know. I have to really go and think about what I feel about this because I don't know. I don't know because, like I said, I've seen people who are very accomplished twerk. So
for sure. And I'm not hating on the
it's just not
overall
recorded.
act of twerking. I feel like if you get a certain amount of alcohol in your system, it's the only right. It only feels natural. You know what
And
I'm
then if
saying?
you see somebody else twerking, I see how it's contagious. Like I said, I can't twerk, but I don't know. I have to go really inward.
I get it. I just feel like it might be overdone at this point. And I'm not saying everybody needs to stop twerking immediately.
Hey, talk with Sana.
What I'm saying is that
it just needs to stop.
Okay, because we can talk about that too. What I'm not saying that twerking needs to stop, it needs to be banned or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's not something that we should aspire to as the communication of, you know what I'm saying, as the expression of everything.
But like
and I think it's easy to get caught up in only doing that. It's just like when someone relies on their looks and they have so much more to offer, and it's like, well, we didn't know that because you only led with your looks. You only ever commented and cared about your looks. And so
I mean, like, I don't know, like I have to really go inward and think about what I think, because I think a lot of my opinion comes from what age I am. And I don't take pictures showing my butt. I don't take pictures doing that stuff or whatever. Talk with Solana says Suki should be canceled. She's done so many things, but people say it's just ratchet. It's annoying. I mean, it is considered ratchet. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, uh, for some reason there's a market for ratchet right now. I can't get down with it because that's just not my, like I said, I feel like a lot of my opinion is based on how I came up and how I think about myself. Like I would not do it just because I don't want to be seen like that. But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. And she says Tasha K just needs to stop. Yeah, Tasha is on one right now.
I don't know what she's going through, but I understand why she's going hard in life.
Look at your cousin, man.
Huh?
He said, Tyra said, ain't nothing wrong with twerking if you gotta shake it. And I mean, this is what I'm saying, right? If I'm somewhere, and I have been places where it's a party, it's going on. I've been at people's house parties and I've been out in public, and somebody starts twerking, and those who can twerk do, and we just be like, hey, hey, and then we go on and do whatever we're doing. But I don't think anything of it, But I mean, if I saw my mother twerking, I would.
Oh no!
But I don't know. I don't know. I guess I do make a judgment on the person, like, oh, okay, she don't care who sees her do that, but like it doesn't stick with me. Like, I judge the person fully. But this is like bringing the dog into it. The dog is like, bitch, if you don't.
Like, please, the dog looked blown, okay, and it's a lot of you like that. And so if anybody remembers or was following, a couple weeks ago we did a story on what was happening with Sukihana. Actually, we've touched on Sukihana a couple times over the past few months, and it's, I would imagine, right, that it's part of her brand. Like if she keeps her name in the public, then she's going to be making money, but at what cost? And I would say that for both her and Tasha K, because it seems like Tasha K is going mad hard. We all know she owes hella money to Cardi B. And I don't know what the legal, like, I don't know if that she could get out of it, right? Like, I don't know if it's as simple as like claiming bankruptcy and starting over, or it probably is not. But it seems like, do you think there's been a change in Tasha K since she has been?
I do think it's a change, but so okay, I will say that so Suki is, from what I gather, and anybody in the comments that knows more than what I'm about to say can chime.
Oh, I think we lost you. Was you frozen?
Who, me?
Oh yeah, okay, you're back. Sorry.
So I think what I'm gathering is that Suki was saying that she got into a bad contract. She didn't really know what was going to be expected, but she's doing it for the money, right? But then her and Tasha K started going back and forth. And so I feel like Tasha has changed a little bit in that she's being, she was off the chain and now she's all the way off the chain. Like she's not holding back anything now. Like she is going hard on people that she wants to go hard on, right? Mm-hmm. And so the thing with Suki, like, and it sucks because it seems like, like we should be able to, check each other if somebody needs to be checked, I guess. But it seems like she's going to the extent of, it's whatever. You know what I mean? She talked about Blue Ivy. She's talking about Suki, and she dragged, they've dragged each other. You know what I mean? I don't think Beyonce will ever respond to her unless it's a song. So I don't know where that's going to go, but I think that she's going for the infamy instead of just being famous, because once she was sued by Cardi B, now her name is stuck to Cardi B's. When you Google it, she comes up. And so it's like, okay, I feel like she will have the money to pay her back, but it just sucks to have to give somebody that you don't like $4 million. I wouldn't want to give anybody $4 million unless I was getting something back. So it's like, I don't know, but she filed the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy is not going to take away the fact that she owe her, but what it does right now, as long as she's in bankruptcy court, no other lawsuits can go through. But she does have other people that are trying to sue her, and I feel like, when she did that, only the people on YouTube knew of Tasha K, right? Now that she is been sued by Cardi B and owes her this money, people who would have never watched YouTube now know who she is. You know what I mean? So you can just pretty much say that because of that, all of the celebrities that know Cardi B, now they know Tasha K, which she knew a lot before. But I mean, but I will say this, she does have a lane. Like there is a lane for her. She's, I just have to imagine that she's trying to do everything she can to make sure that she's not going bankrupt completely. You know what I mean?
I can see that too. Because she's at the point where it's like she could be lit on. It's like her brain could be like fueled, right? It's like
Let me
she
address your cousin real quick. No, Tyra, I know there are people my age that twerk, but there are not people that I know, like in my family and stuff like that, that record themselves twerking for the world to see. So that's another thing. So I got to go inward and figure out what I think about it, because I don't judge people that twerk. I can't do it, but if you're doing it around me and we're at a party, I'm gonna egg you on because that's your thing. You know what I mean? I was just saying to Faith that that's not the only thing that they could probably do. This is just the only thing that we're seeing, but it's popularized because somebody likes it. You know what I mean? So that's all I meant.
Here's
But
my
yeah,
issue with
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like to think that I have class, but we were just talking about, like, is it like when they did it on the Essence Fest, should we just judge them for doing that? Or, I mean, because we couldn't see really faces, so we could see some faces, but mostly we saw butts. And so I was just saying,
but
is it a cultural thing? Is it just something that, happens? I don't know. I don't know if I would just automatically just be like, oh, she's trash because she's twerking. You know what I mean? I would just be like,
sure,
I wouldn't have did that.
absolutely, I wouldn't say that. I think overall the problem is that you know it's like leading with that is weird. And I mean, just going back to Sukihana as an example, we just covered a story where somebody kissed her in the mouth, which is assault, right? But then it's like you're putting out there that you're this twerker and you eat butts, right?
I
And
mean,
like,
yeah, but then at
how
the
are
same
people to
token,
take that?
But at the same token, that can be related to if a girl goes out here in a short mini skirt and a halter top, does that mean people supposed to stick their fingers in her dress? You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like, we can't, or if they get raped because of that, we can't
no,
then say, well, it was your fault. You know what I mean? So it's
no.
like it's a touchy thing, because at the end of the day, when we look at these people who share their social media personas, we don't really know if that's really them. That's what I think is going on with Suki. She may not be this much of a ratchet that we think, but she's saying that she's doing most of it for money to feed her kids. So, like, it's a touchy situation. And that's why I said I gotta go inward to think about what I feel about it, because I don't know.
Yeah.
So Ellen says, Suki said people would choose Mexican corn over having dinner with Tasha K. I don't know now. Yeah. See, I feel like this. I don't have nothing. I'm not saying I don't have nothing bad to say about Tasha K, but I kind of gotta. I would not have gotten to a situation where I was gonna, owe anybody $4 million, because she could have prevented it. There was a time for her to go and squash it with Cardi, and she pressed the gas. But that is Tasha's personality. That is, she is consistent with that, and she is true to that. And I really, really have to say that, despite the people who don't like what she's doing, I gotta respect the lady's hustle, because she's still working. She's upgrading her brand. She's hiring other bloggers to work with her. Like, her brand is still growing. So it's like, okay, on this hand, she takes a loss, but time is gonna pass and other things are gonna happen, and then who knows where it's gonna be. She's still going. I gotta respect her hustle.
I think she's gonna get through this $4 million thing on top, because
I'm trying to tell you that $4 million ain't nothing.
It's gonna be like nothing
compared to what
a less than a year. I would imagine.
Still getting interviews. She's still getting sponsorships. She's still doing what she do. But the one thing I do wonder is, what her husband does really think, because he's now dragged into it. And of course, he's supporting his wife, right? But I really wonder how their conversations be going for real. Like, do he ever be like, bitch, I cannot believe that you did this? But at the same thing, like I said, you have the YouTube channel, but now she has an app that's $12 a month. She has 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Not to say that all of those people on the app, but she has other things going. And I feel like, that $4 million may seem like a lot to people who are like us. Like, I don't want to pay anybody one red cent especially if I don't like it.
Yeah, especially if I don't like it.
You're looking at a person who has the chance to make millions of dollars, because let's look at Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams was disliked by a lot of people. She did a lot of foul shit to people, or said a lot of foul shit to people, whatever. But she continued to she had a lane. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Tasha K has a lane, even though it's not the lane that, we would suggest that people take. We don't want to be infamous, but I think that's what she's going for, the infamy. She'll forever be known as the blogger that was sued by Cardi B and lost, but she's also that blogger that brings, interviews for people. Some of them obviously we don't care about, but some of them are good interviews. And who knows about the businesses that she's doing that we don't know about, you know what I mean? But I just can't see I just can't see her husband sticking around if they're
I
really
mean,
about
look, we don't know what he's taking her, what they've been through together, like that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I would be
there's
blown though.
got
I
to
ain't
be a
gonna lie.
method to her madness because
I ain't gonna lie. I would be blown if homie come home with a $4 million situation where we gotta pay. That's
yeah,
not
but then if you but like okay, so
okay.
with everything, especially when you get into lots of money, it's a risk that you take when you're trading funds. It's a risk that you take when you put stuff, into the stock market and start a business or whatever.
Yeah,
Like there's a risk for the gain. And so whatever the gain is for her, we don't really know if it's the infamy, is it the extra opportunities that she might get, or, because there is a lane for her. People are still interviewing
for
with her.
sure.
And I don't know what else she has going on, but I would assume that she has other things going on outside of just YouTube because she didn't even put everything on YouTube. So I don't know, but I gotta respect the lady's hustle because I would be totally bald headed right now. I would be like 100 pounds, like oh my god. But she could have apologized. This time when she could have apologized, and she didn't. She just stood down. She went to court and did her thing or whatever. And it is what it is. But you cannot deny the fact that something's working for her.
I mean, like, let's really talk through that for a second. If she really truly believed in what she was doing, that's why she probably could not apologize. There's certain things that happen that you're just like, oh, but I can't though. I know that would make everything go away, but then how could I face myself, right? I'm not saying that's what happened with her, but I'm just imagining this because the alternative is that, okay, now she's lost that lawsuit, but will that lawsuit then, in my mind, she knows how to push that money button. So she's just pushing that money button and it's guaranteed to like pay off because people are watching her. I'm more I've heard her more since that verdict came down than I did before. So all she has to do is stay consistent, keep building her brand, and then she can make $4 million in a weekend.
But that's the thing, that app is, who knows how many people on it, but I already told you, even if it's only 100,000 people on there, $12 a pop a month, she's making money. But then also now she's doing stand-up. She's doing tours where now her brand is gossip, comedy, and something else. So she's doing stand-up shows. So it's not like she doesn't have a lane for what she's doing. People like to hear her talk. People like to hear what she's talking about. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's more than meets the eye to it. To me, I feel like there's a method to her madness that we just don't see. And we're only looking at that one thing, just like the twerking thing, right? Like you just never know. Like, yeah, she has some distasteful stuff that she does, but you cannot deny the fact that she's making a lane for herself because there's nobody like her. You know what I mean? Like her, love her or hate her. You know what I mean? But then like, just like I said, I feel like she has multiple streams of income. I feel like this is something that she's just gonna ride out to so she can't no more. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I don't know, but
I agree.
Says, at some. No, I was about to read the comments. You want to go ahead? Oh, Tyra said at some point she'll grow up and stop like Black China. Yeah, Black China had a train, but had a train. Black China had a change, but she made her money off of it too, or whatever. And then Tyra said, well, it did come from the culture and dancing from some African tribes. And then he says, just because you wear or do stuff for the gram doesn't mean you should be assaulted in real life. I'm sure she does it because that's her persona. So I think I agree halfway with that because I think that a lot of people do stuff for the gram, and they may not even be that person. Like look at Auntie Hammy, right? If y'all know who Auntie Hammy is, she did the song like pew pew pew, it's a 22, and she uses the bottom half of her body to do the pew pew, right? So she's not really like that all the time in real life. She does a lot of it. She dresses up like she's a crackhead and all of that, but we don't really know because all we see is what she put on camera. You know what I'm saying? But people do a lot of stuff for that coin, and there's a lot of beefs and stuff like that aren't even real, but it gets the crowd's attention and people talking about it. Other people get to make money off of it. So you just really never know because, they don't know us. You know what I'm saying? So they just know that they have thousands and millions of people wanting them to do what they do. So, I think some of it is just like, okay, it's just, we should take it at face value versus is this really good for this person to be doing? Because at the end of the day, if they spend an hour or two online, they still have 22 other hours to do other things. So you just never know. Like, because Cardi
Yeah.
B is Nicki Minaj's like arch nemesis. So we think, right? We don't really know, but that's
We
how it
don't
was
know.
set up.
Yeah, you're right.
But Tasha K is a Nicki fan. She's been going at Cardi B and hashtagging Barbie's World, promoting the shit out of it. And it's like at the end of the day, some people are like, it's about the check. Forget what y'all gonna think because y'all talking. You know, a lot of people post stuff just to see people talk about it. You know what I mean? She said she was going to anger management. You know she didn't go to anger management, but she
I
still
don't. I
posted a
don't think
picture of herself in some motherfucking sandals and a top hat, a
it was
cap.
funny.
So anyway, I mean, I know we didn't just mean to go off on like that, but it's just I just said all that to say that it is how far do we go into the little bit that we see and take it as real, right? I feel like it's some of it is topics for discussion, you know what I mean, and it might not be the avenue that we would take to get attention because we're not willing to do that, but you know, these people are out here doing that. Like, we live in a world where we don't even know what's real and what's fake anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so true.
So I don't know. But that I'm off my soapbox about that.
No, I hear you, and I hear everybody. I hear the comments. I hear what's happening. I agree. We don't know what people are doing offside the gram, but I'm strongly a believer that what you put out there it means something. So if you've only put out there that you can do this thing, then understand that that's what you put out there. So that's what could come back.
Some would say, you know, if that makes me if 2 hours of twerking a week gets me
Pays your bills,
paid vacations on the beach while you niggas are talking shit, cheers. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I can't live like that. Like, I have to be me every day where I go, wherever I go. I can't do it like that. But I mean, like I said, it's this the power to dog. We don't really know. You know what I mean? But it's good conversation, and I like the conversations that it sparks between people. You know, about the actual just like subjects that come up from it, because you're right. If you put this out there, then that's fine. But a lot of people that live their life on Instagram or YouTube, they'll always say, y'all only see me for this amount of time. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know,
you don't know.
I know. You don't know what, but there's a lane or there's a crowd that wants this and is paying for this. It's just like the OnlyFans thing. So a lot of people with OnlyFans thing that just do it because that's how they make their millions of dollars. But it just depends on what your personal moral compass is as to what you would do to make money,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But again,
sometimes it's not money, it's just what people having fun. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of people having fun and minding their business and getting judged for it, I'm going to segue into our next topic, which is Miss Keke Palmer. Oh. Now, listen here, folks. I saw something earlier about oh my God, people are getting dragged on the internet. Dragged. Do you hear me? Aoki Lee made a comment earlier today, but one part of her comment that I did really like was she was like, y'all better leave Akila alone.
Akila and Big, right? Yeah.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Miss Palmer looks amazing. She got that after baby body and she done filled out. And then she's wearing this dress to the Usher concert. Everybody know Usher is doing his thing in Las Vegas, and he has a residency down there. And everybody be talking about the Usher show. Let me just tell you something.
It is Usher. I mean, I have a opinion about this, but I'll let you say yours first.
There's this comedian, I'm missing his name right now. If I think of it, I'll say it. But he was basically, making this comment. I don't even think he was trying to be funny, but he was just like, I got a show in Vegas and it talks about me going through rehab and da-da-da. He was like, but if you ever go to Vegas, make sure you go see Usher. He was like, I caught the Usher show and it made me think to myself, like, why am I even charging for people to come see me when they can go see Usher? And he's talking about like how we're all here together and let's enjoy this moment. And I'm talking about being sober. And you know what I'm saying? So like, it was funny. And this guy is really funny. If I remember his name, I'm a fan of his, but his name is escaping me right now. Anyway, back to this. Keke Palmer went to go see Usher in her freakum dress with some of her crew over here, and Usher likes to go out in the audience and play or whatever and have fun with the audience members.
And he know who she is. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, this is Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer,
Right.
in my eyes, she can do very little wrong because I think she's funny, she's talented, she's intelligent. She, she can do a lot. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. She's a comedian. She can speak. There's a lot of things I love about Keke Palmer, including this dress. I love this dress. I love her being a mom now and stepping into that role and just being I think she's a role model for people. Okay,
I have to cut you off there because it's interesting that we do know a lot about what Keke Palmer does, right? But let's just take this incident right here before anybody says anything else about what she said. Okay, she's in this dress and she's showing her butt, right? Mm-hmm. She's not singing in this clip. She's not doing any of the great things that we know.
Wait, she did sing in this clip.
Well, my point is
she's not performing. Right.
She has her butt out, right? Just like the twerkers, right? And all of them aren't even naked, right? Mm-hmm. But like that's my point. Like you can't judge nobody from one thing that they do if you don't really know. But then let's just say that's fucking Usher. You know what I'm saying? She probably fanned out as well. But then they compare this to the dress that Ciara had and whatever how her husband accepted it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was different than this one though to me, but her butt is still showing, right?
Sure. I'm not offended. I mean, I'm not offended by people with their titties out either. I actually really enjoyed Ciara's outfit. There was this outfit that Rihanna wore a long time ago to like these fashion awards, the CFAs, and some reporter was like, yeah, so you have your breasts out. And she was like, do my titties offend you? Like, and of course they don't. Okay, like you like relax, lady. Like, not her, but I mean, like whoever asked her that question, I was just thinking to myself, like, why would you even bring that up? Like, we can all see that they're out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just go with it. But here's my thing, like. I guess this is my bias because I know that this isn't they're not leading with it. This is not their original talent. Like I know that they're known for other things. Ciara is an amazing performer. Keke Palmer, I just explained a whole bunch of things that I admire about her. If she wants to wear a freakum dress, she wear. Anybody who doesn't have any talent can wear a freakum dress. I don't think that should be held against people, but
and they can twerk.
Yes, they can twerk. You have the right to twerk. Anything you can twerk will not be held against you.
So what do you think about what her boyfriend said?
Okay. I had to do some research on him because the only thing I knew about him previous to this, like when she first came out and said she was pregnant on Saturday Night Live, I was like, but by who though? And then people kept putting up stuff about like, oh, she's dating this guy. And I was like, but who is he? And then I found out he's like a writer and an actor, and his brother played in Insecure as like this guy who was like a swinger with his wife or something, and like the other lead character Molly, who was played by Yvonne Orji, she was like having an affair with him. So I remembered his brother immediately when they were like, oh, his brother was on Insecure. I was like, but who though? So I looked him up and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I know who that is.
What's
right?
his name?
His name was, I know his character's name was Alejandro. Okay, so anyway, listen. Darius Dalton is the man's name that is her baby's father. I'm getting ready to get into why. I'm about to tell you who his brother is right now. It's actually Saronis Jackson. Is the guy's name. I'll bring up a picture.
Alejandro Pena. Okay.
Alejandro Pena.
That was his name on the show. Okay.
That is super funny.
That is funny.
Okay, you can.
Okay. I know who he is.
Oh man, somebody really got this down. I'm gonna share this tab in a second so you can see. Can you see? This is Darius Jackson. This is his brother. Remember his character on Insecure? So, yeah. So look, here's my thing. This guy Darius is an, I guess, up and coming actor. I don't even want to say up and coming because I really don't know. He has like one project coming out, but he made these comments And I want to bring up his comments because at first I thought he was joking. Like when I first saw the comments, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Like he's just giving her, he's just giving her a hard time, whatever. Like, but when I realized he was serious, and then later on I found out that they're not following each other anymore, I was like, dang, yes. Later on I found it, I went and looked for myself. And I don't honestly know that they ever did follow each other, but I came up on another clip that I'm going to share with everybody once I talk about this. But this is the man's Instagram. This is from the YBF Daily was reporting. This is his take on the dress and all that. We live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is.
I can see her saying he was a hater too.
This is my family.
You're a hater.
I can see that too. But I also realized, okay, he says, this is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. Now, he said that was after he had already posted, like, but you're a mother though, right? You're a mom, right? And I was thinking to myself, I thought that was the part that I thought was weird. Well, so he posted this though. He posted this back in, I don't know, probably right when she had the baby.
What does that say? I'm sorry, my eyes are.
My son done transformed Kiki. And so somebody said he wasn't bothered when he posted this. Because I remember when she wore that outfit, and I was like, damn, Kiki, you ain't had that body before you had that baby. But look, she looked good, though. And he posted this. He was okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And he posted this, too. Okay?
Okay.
So if you're so worried about her, I think he was mad because it was Usher.
I think he was mad because it was Usher too.
Okay. And the other thing is that not only was it Usher, but so we all have Keke Palmer has this really funny story about how she had a crush on Michael Ealy, but they were in a movie together and he always looks at her like a kid. So she can't really have a crush on him because he would never reciprocate because he's always going to look at her like a kid. I feel like that's probably the same thing she probably had with Usher, right? Like, everybody love Usher, okay? He can sing, he can dance, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but I think that okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that he probably does have a problem because it was Usher, because, okay, so a regular person, say you dressed like that and you went there and Usher sang to you. Usher still doesn't know you, right? But Keke could actually probably date Usher if he said the word, and her boyfriend probably knows that. And he probably feels some type of way because it was Usher. Because those posts that he posted before, you've been showing her ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? And I do want to bring this up because he actually said, and listen, and then I gotta give Tasha K props for this clip that I'm about to share. This is them talking on a podcast about what would happen if anybody ever came up and tried to say something about him to her, right? Like if there was ever a situation where somebody tried to, he used the term, Summer Walker him, right? So basically I took that to mean like somebody's going to try to come out and tell you about your man, right? Okay. So let me start this over and then press the sound button. I'm old, y'all. Okay, hopefully you can hear this.
What happens if you ever had a Summer Walker situation with me? Some girl was just like, yo, just so you know, she was wearing like my Eagles jersey.
She's not even getting on the line with me. I'm not talking to nobody. I don't care. She could be standing next to you in a picture. I'm blind. I'm Stevie Wonder to the bullshit. Whatever that we going through, we talking about that in the closet. Like we ain't nobody, like it's on some like he's got a twin brother. Like I'm not discussing that.
But then how are you gonna react when people bring it to you? I saw your man, or I saw that. People are
and I saw your man. I didn't want to bring it up, but since we're bringing it up, have you checked with him? And then we'll laugh and then we'll move on because they know I'm not playing at that point.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't have to discuss your man or your money.
Okay, and what happens
now? Ain't that some truth? You don't got to discuss your man or your money. Here's my thing, especially after I saw this clip. Shout out to Tasha K for the borrowing of that clip. It's even more I don't want to call him out, but it's even more of like a woman type move, if you will, to even come up with this stuff. It's just like, why are you talking to? Why do you have an open letter to humanity about?
Did they break up?
I feel like they did, because why? Okay, so I was showing this earlier, but he has a whole slew of comments, and he talked about Ezekiel Elliott. He talked about. I mean, I feel like he's just so in his feelings right now. It's just really odd. And these comments were made. I mean, I just feel like these comments were made on July 5th. And he's talking about Alton Sterling. It's just like, what are you doing out here on these streets? Now he's talking about all these things after he made that one comment about how he has morals and standards, and about how you're a mom. But it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to be like, what would have happened if Alton Sterling listened and followed? Or like, oh, actually, that was a long time ago. So I can't even bring that one up. I just looked at that.
Oh, bro.
Gosh, I think that he is in his feelings, and I think that it's because it was Usher. I just don't know. I feel like, you know, when you have issues or whatever, especially if you're a celebrity couple, like, y'all need to make an agreement not to come online, like sign something so you can't or whatever, because it's just opening the public up to have all of the opinions on stuff. And you know, you're being emotional to me, because
yes, in your feelings.
Yeah, because I like, after I saw him posted her before, it's like, why would you do that instead of talking to her? Or
why are you so outraged now?
She called him a hater. Yeah, I'm betting that he was just in his feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Like, the thing is, why do that publicly, especially after just seeing that clip of them talk about this, right? And knowing that
people going to pull up old
people
shit.
are going to pull up old shit that you used to say, and they're going to harp on it. But also, like, here's the thing: you have a baby together, so it's not like you're going to just
not see each other again. Yeah.
And my thinking is like, things get heated, but like, don't take it to the internet. Like, that's just like,
taking it to the internet opens up a whole other can of worms, because, I mean, now, like, you just can't close that can back. You know what I'm saying?
You can't close that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I wish them the best. And the thing is, it's so funny. Like, I haven't seen her say anything about it, and I would imagine that she's not going to, because
you probably say something to him about it.
It's just not worth it, right? Like,
now it's going to be like a whole back and forth, his response, her response, and he did that.
And that's the mother of her child. That's the father of her child. So, like, what she look like being successful and going back and forth with him on the internet?
Yeah.
What does that do, right?
What was the point?
Yeah. Doesn't know that.
What was the attention you were trying to get? But
so listen, I got two more things to share. I was going to share this thing of the Dwight Howard and his kids, but we'll talk about that next week, because it's really not really that relevant. But two things that I want to shout out. Actually, three things. So Chris Samuels and Monique Samuels have officially called it quits, and they are going to, now they're still co-parenting, as we see here, but somebody said, does Chris look good here, or is it just me?
He's lost a lot of weight, but he started working out before they actually broke up, but he lost a lot of weight.
Even this conversation, because I listened to this, and he was telling her to do one thing and she was telling him to do another thing, but it kind of reminded me of some of the conversations that I witnessed on the show, where she's saying one thing and he's saying the other thing, and they're just like not on the same page. But like, I do remember, cannot forget, when the first rumors came out about them possibly splitting up, and she was like gung-ho about saying that they weren't, even though they had said on the show that, like, if this doesn't change, then this relationship might not work out. But it's just like so crazy to me, like how things work out. But in this next,
but he definitely is going to be picked up, because he's back in shape now, and whatever. But we saw that it wasn't working between them.
We saw that firsthand just by watching the show, and I know it was a show, but we could see it. It was undeniable. I did say, if I could just call this one out, everyone. Hello, America, and others.
Oh my God.
Did say that I was like, he's a catch. I'm not saying she's not a catch, but he's so far up more of a catch than she is in these dating streets, right? Because like he just has like assets, and I don't know. It's just like he's a good dude, and he obviously takes care of his family, and he just has a different kind of. It's a different game for men and women out here, okay? And I knew that as soon as he was released, that there would be people just like lining up. And so this next thing, she was saying like she showed this, and she was like, "This is how people be."
People in Chris's comments.
And he laughed or whatever, but it's just like, you know.
All his DMs are probably full. And I don't think he's not my type, but I think that, yeah, because he's an ex-NFL star, he, was married to her. I feel like that's a little thing as well. And he does have assets. I don't doubt that she has assets either. She's on the radio show. She has her own business. She has her own podcast. She's definitely doing her thing. But yeah, the game is different for men and women, especially if you're an older woman with kids and people have gotten to see how you interacted with somebody else on there. I can imagine that his stock is going to be up a little bit higher than hers, unfortunately. But she can handle it.
Yeah, she's fine. Like, people are going to be fine. I just thought this was interesting.
And don't listen. She's still going to get probably half or whatever. He still got to support the kids, and he's still going to probably make sure she all right. So, it is what it is.
He's going to make sure she's all right, but something tells me she's not getting half. Something tells me she's not getting half, okay? I don't know what that something is.
Well, I mean,
pray that her mom his mom and her interacted in a way where I know for sure that they had something in place.
But half is really also relevant, too, because think of all the things that they've done while they've been married. Like I said, she has
she gave him all his kids.
She's been on several TV shows. She's going to, half is relative. Half, for me, is different for her, right? Like, it's still probably going to be something that, is substantial, I would say.
For sure. I agree.
But you're right. He probably has higher stock as far as that, because he
in the dating game. I'm not saying that she's any better. I'm not saying that he's a better person than she is.
No.
Like,
strictly in dating, but I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, anyway. No, you were saying about the half and half and how it's kind of.
No, I was about to say something else, but.
Well, if it comes back to you, you'll share. Listen, I want to say this, and I'll segue into the next thing. I was right. They unfortunately. Oh, go ahead.
A lot of people did not like the way she was treating him on the things that, like, how she was treating him on the shows either. They were just like, oh, they were on her about that too, or whatever. So, I mean, he, like you said, his stock is going to be a lot different than hers.
So speaking of stock, the two first Black women to be owners of an NFL team. Round of applause.
That is crazy.
And Serena Williams. It's so funny because I never really thought about it. I knew that there weren't any like Black owners. I didn't know if there were any partial owners until Magic Johnson came along, and it was like, oh, it's a big thing. And I was like, damn, I guess there aren't. And now we have the first Black women to be owners. I think this is dope. We're going to make history by having some ownership in the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are worth $4.6 billion. I often wonder, like, what makes a team worth what they're worth? Because I think, like, the Cowboys are probably like worth a whole bunch. I know the Patriots, but even the Redskins, who don't really win that often or haven't won in some time, are worth more than I thought they were worth. And I can't even remember what the number is right now, but like, I remember thinking like, oh, but I guess it's based on like the whole franchise, like what people buy in merchandise.
I mean, I would think that it had a lot to do with what they're paying the players too. Like what their contracts look like, because if you add up, like, just say for instance, they were all getting paid $1 million, right? That's if you have 14 people, that's $14 million at least that they're worth, right? So I'm thinking that the players' salaries, the merchandise, whatever the merchandise pulls in, and everything like that. I don't know. That's something to look into.
I just looked up the top most valuable NFL teams, and like I thought, Dallas Cowboys are worth $7.6 billion. They're the highest most valuable team. The Los Angeles Rams are worth $5.9 billion, followed by the New England Patriots. And I would think the Patriots would have been number 2, maybe even number 1, just because they have won so many Super Bowls. But I guess,
So I gotta, where does that come from?
This is from marca.com, okay. NFL franchise values.
I want to look that up because I could have sworn it was some other lady that owned the NFL team that was a black lady. But Ellen says,
oh, you're talking about that news. That didn't come from, okay, so I can tell you in a second. That's from Black Wealth.
Okay.
So Serena been owning a portion of the Dolphins.
Since 2009. But there's a lady, damn, I cannot remember her name, but so when I do, matter of fact, Tyron isn't here anymore, I don't think, but shout out to Tyron because Tyron is the creator of Relationship Entertainment Television, which I also have a show over there called What's Going On, but there's a lot of other shows over there, Black entrepreneurship and stuff like that. Hey, Ajoba. So definitely subscribe to Relationship Entertainment Television.
Oh, Melody Hobson.
And but I was doing a show and I felt like I found somebody else. That may be her name. But I don't know how true that is either because I can't remember, but
okay, I'm looking it up right now, and Sports Kita, I don't even know. See, that's the thing about, like, I want to be up on my game and be, like, fully researched, but, like, you just never know what's true.
It's hard to be in the know about every single
thing. There's a lady named Melody Hobson, this is from November 8th, 2022, that she was set to make history by becoming, right? So I don't know if the deal was actually signed.
Was it closed?
Yeah. Part owner to the Denver Broncos. So I'm not really sure
if it actually happened. Yeah, who knows? But we're gonna go with this. Serena and Serena and Venus Williams are the first Black women to be part owners of the NFL team. Also, Venus is back at Wimbledon, y'all. She played at Wimbledon. So she's 43, and I don't
loving it.
I don't know if y'all ever played tennis, but tennis is fucking hard. Okay, so shout out to her for that. But Ellen says, will.i.am on some of the Dolphins too. Hey, Ajoba, I already said that. Anyway, I feel like this was a great show. We covered so many fucking topics.
Absolutely.
We didn't get to talk about any reality TV, but that's because we really haven't been watching reality TV like we wanted to. But Ready to Love is coming back, and they're in Dallas, and they are coming back tomorrow. So we all need to check that out because, I'm
definitely gonna watch. Now, Elizabeth, I do have to say one more thing before we end, which I know we're closing out, but I just found out about this person. It's a female sommelier. If you're in the DMV area and you know where the National Harbor is, there's a wine bar called Vino, and it's in the National Harbor, and they sell, obviously they specialize in wine. And the lady, Shayla, who's the owner, she likes to be like all inclusive. So even if you don't drink, she has non-alcoholic wine. They have different events. And this is her right here. I saw her being interviewed and I was like, wow, that's very cool. She's a sommelier.
You definitely got to check that out.
And so I'm just really excited about all of this, and we definitely checking this out.
We gotta check that out. And also the other thing I called you about the other day, we gotta check out.
Yes, we do. We got a lot of stuff to check out, y'all. But anyway, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were saying.
No, you're fine. I was just I'm just updating the title since we didn't talk about Dwight Howard because I don't really know.
Oh yeah, so Dwight Howard had a whole thing with his kids where people were. We're gonna save that for next week because I'm sure there'll be more to talk about on that front. People reacting to it and stuff because people are still reacting to the whole Simone and Rashid thing. People are reacting to a lot of stuff, and
that thing is getting crazy. Okay, I don't really know. People are calling them scammers. It's a bunch of other things allegedly happening or whatever. So we're gonna see how that plays out or whatever.
Yeah. We'll be watching. We'll be following the story so that when we
but I did get one other update though. So they officially announced that they're calling off the engagement and they're not going to be reviewing the show you know, like they were reviewing Ready to Love, because it just doesn't make sense for them to review if they're not, you know, together in a successful relationship, I guess. But so that's that part. But he's gonna be doing his own thing, and she's gonna be still doing her thing with Girl Is That Legal. So shout out to them on that. And if anything else changes, and we'll come back and talk about it. But you know, it's just a lot going on with that. Okay,
it's a lot going on, and it sucks because if they are not scamming people, then, you know, they're having to deal with the backlash of going through the situation and being accused. But if they are being scammy, whatever, like, you know, who knows? I didn't get that from them, but you know, I haven't seen all the information that's come out recently, so it's something that I need to look into. But
yeah, I'll
so much, guys,
when we get off of here.
So much drama to review. Okay, I don't know if you said this. I think you did, but shout out to ReTV.
Yeah, okay. Relationship Entertainment Television. Make sure y'all subscribe and watch my show. What's going on? It's a positive Black news show. Like, we get so much negative stuff. I always highlight a Black entrepreneur every week. I am in my 3rd season on that network, and yeah, if you don't watch it for anything else, go see how many Black entrepreneurs are over there. Plus, there's the show called Entrepreneur Insider, and she interviews Black entrepreneurs. It's a bunch of stuff over there. And they also have the Millionaire Man Cave, where they just get together and talk as a bunch of married men, and they talk about a lot of interesting topics. Okay, sometimes they have ladies' night where we get to come and take over and, you know, talk our shit as well. But it's a really good it's a really good channel. So anyway, that's all I have to say for today. I'm about to get off here and go cook. Yes, this is the Relationship Entertainment Television. It's on YouTube. It's RETV for short. They also have a website and an app, and you can find us on Roku TV as well. So check us out.
Read-tv.net. And that's how you can get to this website, but you can also find them on YouTube. Look at all this programming. I love this background.
And there I am. Y'all can see my face right there.
I see you right there. What's going on?
Yes.
But yes, please support.
I got the features on my iPad.
So. But there's a lot of great programming over there. I'm over there from time to time. Look at these two beautiful faces right here. They actually look quite similar. I wonder how that happened. But anyway. Y'all look like it's so funny to me. Anyway, I wanted to shout them out. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us for another amazing episode of Those Two Sisters, or D-City Life Sisters. And we have so much more to follow. Like my sister said, we're going to be catching up on some of our reality TV favorites and reporting back out next week. I've been kind of following some of the storylines, but I really need to get in there and, like, you know, get it popping. So next
week, me too. I have to catch up as well. So make sure y'all.
There's so much happening on the, like, pop culture front. It's like we don't even really get the chance to discuss it. But
and halfway don't have time to research everything. But you know, I'm gonna try to pay more attention or whatever. But you know, a lot of stuff is happening. But our channels are in the description below, so definitely make sure you follow us. Yeah, and that's all I have to say for this week.
That's all I got to. I thank you. Hey, King. Hey, King Paddington. Look at him. He's so cute. I'll be sending you all types of animal videos.
I'll be sending you cat videos.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Catch us next week. We'll be talking about whatever is happening then.
Whatever the hell's going on. I'm your girl, Demita Joe, and this is my sister.
Yes, I'm a unicorn.
Peace, everybody. Peace.